everybody, it's Jenna. So today I wanted to go a little bit into my backstory of learning to code and why I chose to learn to code in the first place. So I started out as a graphic designer. I went to a 4-year school for that, and I like design and I still do, but I moved up the ladder at my last company and I started doing web designs for them. And after a while my curiosity kind of got to me and I was like, well, how do I take these web designs and make them work, like make them into like a real website? So I started learning HTML and CSS, and at first I was only planning on learning that. I never planned on going any further than that, and in the beginning, I would basically hack my way through a website. Like, I would just, without even knowing basics, but not really knowing what's going on and not following best practices, I would just be like, okay, well, like, this needs to go up a little bit, so just like margin negative whatever until it's in the right area. And I really wasn't learning, I really wasn't following best practices. So it wasn't until 2015 that I started taking learning to code on a serious level. So yeah, it's been 3 years now, and I could say I feel a little bit embarrassed by that it's taken me this long. But at the same time, I wasn't putting in the work that I needed to learn code fast. I would basically do like an hour to like maybe 3-4 times a week, and I wasn't really putting in the work. At that time, I was taking the Team Treehouse front-end web developer track, and that took me quite a long time to complete. So I think one of the most important things to do when learning to code is try to not compare yourself to others. I've basically talked about how I've still been doing this for 3 years and have still not had a web developer role. I have worked as a web designer and I've coded HTML, CSS, and some light JavaScript for a company, but it was under a web designer role. It wasn't a web developer role. So, I mean, you could say technically I'm not in the field yet, so it's been quite a while, because we all get caught up on what others are doing, We look at other YouTubers who have done this in like 2 months or 3 months, like the Dreaded Dev and Chris Sean. It's important to just do you and just focus on what's important to you and not focus on others, because I feel like that's only gonna place as a distraction with learning how to code, and I feel like it's gonna possibly make you want to quit because you're like, oh, well, like this person did it in 3 months or this person did it in 6 months and I'm taking 3 years to do it. And it's like, well, am I quitting? No, because I know in the end this is gonna be worth it. So I'm not quitting. And I actually have quit coding once or twice. And I first tried learning JavaScript in, I think it was 2013 or 2014. And at the time, I was taking a course on lynda.com because I was using Lynda already for their design courses to learn even more than I learned in school about design. So I took a course on JavaScript on Lynda back then, and I had no clue what the hell they were talking about. I thought, I'm never gonna do this, I'm never gonna learn this, I'm not smart enough for this, and I gave up. And to go back even further than that, when I was in design school, I never even wanted to learn code. Even in design school, I took a couple courses on web development, and it basically just taught HTML and CSS. And I hated those classes. I was like, I like to design stuff, I like art, I like being creative, and I thought, what is all this technical stuff? Like, what is all this? I would look at HTML and CSS, and I would look at that, and I'd be like, this is like a foreign language to me. And it was like, even though it's not a programming language, it's still a markup language, and it looked foreign to me. And at first I didn't even want to learn code, but when I started taking it more seriously in 2015, I actually started to like it once I finally understood it to a point where I wasn't just hacking my way through things. And I remember when I graduated from college in 2012, my brother told me to learn HTML and CSS, and he would be able to get me into his company that he was working for starting at $60,000 a year. That was back in 2012. Nowadays, HTML and CSS jobs aren't really going for that. And a lot of times they want you to know JavaScript and frameworks as well. It is possible to get a job for just HTML and CSS. They're very rare, but they do exist. And most of the time they're titled like a web designer role. But even back then, I would tell my brother, because I was stubborn, I'd be like, I don't know about learning code. I really like design. I like being creative. And I was ignorant at the time. So overall, I'm glad that I, even though gave up twice with learning to code, I eventually went back to it. And I'm glad I did, because now I love it. I love the challenge behind it, and I just love to, you feel so great, and that feeling that comes when like something works is amazing. Like recently, I've been starting to build my own JavaScript projects, and when the code actually works, I'm like, oh my god, what? It works! It's crazy. So I think the most important thing to take away with this is don't give up and be consistent. Try to code for at least 1 to 2 hours at first. Once you get the hang of it and a grasp on how things work, try 3 or 4 hours a day if you can. And remember that to be like someone who lands a job in 2, 3, or 6 months, you have to put in the work to do so. So don't compare yourself to others. And if you get stuck, ask a question on an online forum and go for a walk. Even if it's only for 5 minutes, going away, clearing your head, and then coming back makes it so much easier to figure out whatever you're struggling with debugging. And I think most importantly is to have fun with it and have fun with learning. So I hope you found this video helpful, and if you do, please like it and share it. And to see more videos like this, please subscribe down below and click on the bell to get notifications. And thank you to everyone new who has subscribed, and follow me on social media. I'll talk to you later. Bye.